change the nature of that organization to make sure that we can support that.
Yeah, I was talking to Block, the finance company, and they've developed their own agentic tool and got everybody to use it because they were thinking this is going to be a big deal. And that seemed like a very impressive way to kind of accelerate innovation there. So Evan, your company is doing amazing stuff with AI, and the supply chain is obviously a huge topic in of itself, but I know you have thoughts on how AI is going to change productivity and work. What do you see from what you're doing?
So we're a technology company. We write our own software to apply artificial intelligence across the world's largest network of supply chain data to map it all out and solve different supply chain related problems. We're on the front line of AI adoption as a software company using agentic flows and other tools to code. Mm-hmm. And so, the question is, are we now preparing to fire our software engineers or not?
Right.
And the answer is no, right? So we're just going to build more product more quickly and create more value. And I think some version of that is going to be the storyline. Of course, there's going to be disruption. Of course, there's going to be job displacement, but there's going to be a productivity miracle. We're already seeing it, on the front lines as early adopters. And you'll be able to create more goods and services more quickly with the same base of labor. And remember, we have today a unemployment rate that's at near historic lows. So I'm not so worried about this massive wave of disruption and job loss. It will happen. There will be industries that are more or less impacted, but the net new job creation and the pace of that job creation, I think I'm very optimistic about.
That's great. I should say you can submit questions if you want to. They'll appear on this iPad if I don't manage to lock it. So you go ahead and do that. So the coding example is really fascinating because this is one of those jobs that was seen as sort of a secure career path and very high skilled, and yet we have people like Dario at Anthropic saying that there's going to be tons of the 90% of code is going to be written by coders, and they won't need so many coders. I think it's telling they did say that at a developer conference myself. And I've been looking at this quite closely. I feel like, so Elad, do you think that coders are going to disappear, or they'll change the nature of that work?
It's kind of interesting because in general, if you look at coding as a discipline or a field, there's millions of practitioners globally. Mm-hmm. And some of them are very good and some of them are less skilled, just like any other job or labor force or anything else. And so the question is, what is this technology going to augment the most first? And then eventually, what is it going to displace the most? Mm-hmm. And I think what it augments the most is the very best and the very worst developers to some extent. It provides tools for the people who aren't as strong in terms of being able to do things quicker or more easily or in an automated fashion. And then it gives enormous leverage to the best people.
Yeah.
And if you think about it from a long-term trend perspective, there should be some form of displacement of what we consider coding today, which is actually writing lots and lots of lines of code. Mm-hmm. And I think that's pretty inevitable. And the question is less of if and more of a when. Right, is that a 3-year thing? Is that a 10-year thing? It'll eventually happen. And there's a lot of different jobs that we have displaced in the past that we don't really talk about anymore.
Yeah.
And we can make a long list of those. The sort of most ridiculous one is apparently there used to be operators for elevators.
Right.
Right, and then eventually that got displaced. So there are jobs that will go away.
There still are.
Yeah. And so, fundamentally, I do think that a lot of what we think of as sort of day-to-day coding will go away at some point. And then the question is, does that unlock the potential for anybody to sit down and build an application or a program, and is that coding?
Yeah.
At that point, is it business creation? Is it job? Like, what are you doing, and what should you